So this Friday we are going to be getting double 86 Flash SBCs, and as a result, let's go and give you guys some investments. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. For the cheapest premium trading service for just £4, €4, or free with Amazon Prime. You'll get yourself daily trading and investing guides covering both Xbox and PlayStation with an array of different techniques depending on your budget. I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million on multiple titles, and recently making over 10 million in the first month for the last 3 years. So in today's video, what we are going to be discussing is them releasing the 86 Plus SBC for the third week in a row, and how there's been some really good money in the last few weeks, and as a result it'll give us something to capitalise on and go and invest in this week. So for those who have missed it, in the last 2 weeks on the Friday, starting from 4:30 all the way till 7:30, we get a double 86 Plus SBC, which means we basically get 2 before 6 PM and the current team season go out of packs, then 2 after 6 PM when the new team season's in packs. Well, this has come with the exact same requirements and now 2 weeks in a row ever since we started having individual leagues. So, as a result, stuff has gone up. Stuff's gone up quite nicely. The requirements are really cheap, which is one of the reasons stuff has gone up quite nicely, and the requirements are 1 informal team of the season and an 84 rated squad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show you guys what's gone up in previous weeks and just show you the sort of profit that's in them. So to start off, we're going to be showing you guys quote-unquote discard team of the seasons. Obviously they're not discard, but they're still quote-unquote cheap. So we can show you the likes of Marcelo here in the last 14 days, and he was cheap, just like a bird. And you can see at one point he's gone and spiked, and you wouldn't believe it. That one point is when these SBCs came out. And what he did is he was obviously previously in the week about 16k. Going into this SBC, he was about 17k, but with the release of the SBC, he got up to 20k. So 17k to 20k meant you basically made 2k on every single card, and it wasn't even a long hold. Obviously, if you wanted to hold on to it for more days, you made 3k per card. So you could literally have held on to this card for, I think, 3 hours, and you would have made 2k per card, which means unless you were going to go and invest in something else, this is a really efficient investment. And it's the exact same here with discard informs. Again, literally does not matter who you go for, but you could have gone and picked this card for 9.9k very easily, 10k if you really wanted to go and buy nows. And you see that they went up here to the likes of 11.5, some even went up to the likes of 12k. So from discard to 12k meant you made 1.4k per card, and again, all you had to do was hold on to these cards for a few hours when the Flash SBCs are out. And the final thing that did well was 84s. Now, using last week's as an example doesn't really work, because if you guys remember last Friday, we had that Ronaldinho loan SBC that gave XP, which was additional demand for 84s. But luckily, because we've had this SBC 2 weeks in a row, we don't even have to look at last week, we can look at the week before. And what you can see right here is you can see the likes of Kovacic was 3.1k before the SBC came out at 4 PM. Well, once the SBC came out and was repeatable a few times, here it's at 9 PM, so again 5 hours later, they basically went from 3k to 4k. So despite there being packs open for what would have been the Bundesliga team of the season, these cards still rose a k, because there was demand for the cards that was exceeding the supply, because every single hour they were like, okay, another 84 rated squad. Finally, the last cards you can have a little look at here are 83s. Now 83s went from 1.6k up there to 2.3k. Again, not really as interesting. Still had a rise, so if you have the likes of 83s and 84s and you want to hold on to these Flash SBCs, they actually don't go down in price with the likes of the promo packs being open, because again, these Flash SBCs are literally double 86 SBCs as soon as an SBC is released. It's an insane sort of SBC to release, and again, the demand way exceeds the supply. So the last lot of cards that rose there are 83s. In case it wasn't too obvious, it's actually a little bit interesting because the peak times differed from Team of the Seasons, Team of the Weeks, and Gold Fodder. The Gold Fodder all peaked at 9 PM, whereas the Team of the Seasons and Team of the Weeks peaked at 7 PM. This may be because the Gold Fodder was used later into the night for different sort of SBCs, whereas the Team of the Season and Team of the Weeks, because the SBC was only repeatable every hour till 7:30, it meant as soon as that SBC expired on 7:30, they went back down to discard again. So this isn't the sort of investment where you can buy the players and hold on to them, it's the buy the players, SBC comes out, and then you go and sell them at 7 PM. Otherwise, again, you're just not going to make any money and you'll either break even or lose coins. So as a result, let's go and cover you guys with some investments. Now, you can go and pick up any 88 rated team of the week for 16k, although if I'm going to be honest with you, the easiest one to go and buy is going to be the one that is actively in packs, which is the likes of Team of the Season Blake at 16k. And under my research, there wasn't really any benefit on buying an 89 rated team of the season to help with rating more, mainly because there was an 84 rated squad. Obviously, the likes of the 88s went from 16, 17k to 21k, whereas these were, before the SBCs were even released, they were sitting at 21k. So they went 21 to 21.5. So there's no money on anything higher than an 88 rated team of the season. We then get to discard team of the weeks, and it's the exact same thing. Just go and pick them up for 10.5k. I'd say there's no reason to buy anything excessively high rated, because if we go and look at someone like Roberts, who was averaging about 12k before the SBC came out, he only went up to 13k, whereas we saw 1.5 to 2k rises on the cheaper stuff. So just any team that you can get for 10k, you can win them on bids, you can win them on buy nows. It doesn't really matter. We do expect these cards to go up to 12k because that's what they went to last time. They should be going to higher and higher prices each week, in my opinion, because of a lower supply. Because, of course, Team of the Weeks are not currently in supply, despite there being a SBC. I think they're supplying one every 2 weeks. But that resupply shouldn't exceed the amount they're being put into SBCs week in, week out. To 83s and 84s, specifically this week, they're looking a little bit riskier, just because they're a lot more inflated going into the SBC. For example, if we look at last Friday, you know, they were really just going for about 3.5k all week. We look at the previous Friday and they were only up at 4.2k. But at the moment, they've already gone from 3.9k to 5.2k, which is way more inflated than any other week. You can still gamble and invest in them, because just because something's inflated doesn't mean it's not going to work. In fact, it can just mean that the card is rarer and as a result rise more. It's just arguably there's a little bit more risk with it. But, you know, if you want to go and pick up the likes of 84s, pick them up right now for 5k. You know, I think is a gamble you guys can take. If you want to play it safer, though, do go Team of the Weeks or Team of the Seasons. And then with 83s, you can go and pick them up for 1.8k. When they did well 2 weeks ago, so again, not even looking at last week where they needed the Ronaldinho, they were inflated, I think, about 300-400 coins before the SBC came out. So them being a little bit inflated from this weekend isn't completely against what happened a few weeks ago, which is when they still did well, and then even likewise with last week. But of course, last week we are bearing in mind the Ronaldinho, so it's maybe a little bit of an exception. But that is going to go and wrap up the video. If you guys want, you can just save your coins and buy the current Team of the Seasons tomorrow. That was a really good play last week, but if not, here is a play you guys can go for. Team of the Weeks, Team of the Seasons, 83s, 84s, and then hold on to them until we get the Flash Double 86 SBC over on the Friday. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a video regarding buying the current Team of the Seasons.